Welcome to a deep dive into high-performing teams.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to unpack Patric Lencioni's The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
It's
not just a
right.
business book.
No.
It's like an X-ray of what makes or breaks a team.
I love that.
And, Lencioni takes us inside a fictional company, Decision Tech.
Yeah.
It's this Silicon Valley startup.
Oh, so we can all relate.
We see the dysfunctions play out through the eyes of the new CEO, Catherine.
Right.
She's trying to figure out why this team, full of talent,
So much potential.
is underperforming.
Yeah, they're not meeting their goals.
And instead of coming in with a bunch of changes, she takes this
What does she do?
almost anthropological approach.
I like it.
She observes, she sits in on meetings.
Led by Jeff, right?
Yeah, the founder who moved to business development.
Oh, interesting.
She walks the halls, she talks to everybody.
It's a feel for the culture.
And she comes from the auto industry.
Oh, wow.
So she's bringing this fresh perspective to Silicon Valley.
Totally different.
And as we meet the executive team,
Oh, boy.
they are a collection of strong personalities.
To say the least.
Each with their quirks and blind spot.
For sure.
Let's start with Jeff,
Okay.
the former CEO,
Okay.
visionary, brilliant at fundraising,
Classic founder.
but maybe not so good at the day-to-day management.
Okay, yeah.
And he loves structure and process,
Oh, I see.
which can be a strength,
Mm-hmm.
but in a fast-paced startup,
Gotta be simple.
it could be an obstacle.
Yeah, I could see that.
Then there's Mikey, VP of Marketing,
Okay.
bursting with ideas, knows the industry.
Yeah.
But she's so cynical
Oh, that's
and constantly comparing Decision Tech to her previous companies.
Always greener on the other side, huh?
And then there's Martin, the chief engineer,
Oh, yeah. Gotta have one of those.
the classic tech genius,
Mm.
brilliant,
A
but
little awkward.
socially awkward.
I get it.
Spends more time with his laptop than with people.
Oh, I've worked with a few of those.
And he uses sarcasm as a defense mechanism.
Ah.
Quick to point out flaws, but not always offering solutions.
In there.
And then we've got JR, the head of sales.
Oh, all right.
Everyone loves him, life of the party.
Yeah.
But not exactly known for following through.
Yeah.
Charming, but flaky.
Gotta love.
Great at building relationships,
Mm.
but maybe not so great at the details.
Yeah.
And rounding out the team,
All right.
Carlos, who runs customer support.
Okay.
He's quiet, dependable,
Solid.
works hard, but doesn't speak up much.
Oh, the quiet ones.
You get the sense he's holding back,
Maybe afraid to.
afraid to rock the boat.
Yeah.
Then there's Jan, the CFO,
Okay.
the voice of reason, experienced,
Yeah.
financially savvy,
Yeah.
and she genuinely cares about her team.
Oh, that's good.
Like a mother hen.
She's seen it all, probably.
And last but not least,
Yeah.
Nick, VP of Business Development,
Okay.
ambitious, maybe feels underutilized. You get the sense.
What's the sense you get?
Then he thinks he should be running the show.
Oh, interesting.
Definitely some underlying tension there.
I bet.
So Catherine's looking at this team,
This mix of personalities.
and she's thinking, okay, something deeper is going on here.
Yeah.
And that's where she brings in this framework,
The 5 dysfunctions.
the 5 dysfunctions of a team.
Okay.
But she doesn't just drop this theoretical model on them.
No.
She explains it using analogies.
Oh, smart.
She talks about those underdog basketball teams that win because they work together so well.
Mm-hmm.
She talks about how movies are compelling because of conflict,
Interesting.
not in spite of it.
Yeah, I like that.
She's trying to get them to see
What?
that conflict can be a source of strength.
Oh, instead of something to be avoided.
And she puts them through these team-building exercises.
During the offsites, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not trust falls and ropes courses.
No.
Activities to make them confront their vulnerabilities and biases.
Like what?
Personal histories.
Oh, yeah.
Where they share little-known facts about themselves.
Build some connections.
And she uses the Myers-Briggs.
Oh, the personality test.
Not to label people, but to help them understand their communication styles.
Yeah. How they come across.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Oh, tell me more.
Because as they go through these exercises,
Yeah.
all those tensions and dysfunctions start to come out.
It's like a pressure cooker.
Mikey rolling her eyes, Martin hiding behind his laptop,
Oh, no.
Nick getting frustrated.
So much drama.
But Catherine, she stays calm, like a therapist,
Yeah.
guiding them through the group session.
I can see it.
She's observant, picking up on those nonverbal cues,
Mm-hmm.
but she's direct when she needs to be.
Like with Martin and his laptop.
Yeah.
He just won't put it away.
And it's in those moments of tension
Oh, I bet.
that you see glimpses of vulnerability.
People letting their guards
Like
down.
they're realizing they're not the only ones who feel insecure.
Powerful stuff.
And that vulnerability can be so powerful in building trust.
Absolutely.
It's a slow process.
That's time.
But you see the walls starting to crumble.
Yeah.
especially as Catherine shares her own stories.
Oh, that's...
She doesn't just preach, she shares her own struggles, her own mistake.
being vulnerable herself.
And I think that's key for any leader.
What is?
Vulnerability is contagious.
It is.
When you're open about your weaknesses, it gives others permission to do the same.
So true.
But vulnerability,
Yeah.
it's just the first step. It's
Right.
the foundation of that pyramid.
The first dysfunction.
The first dysfunction to overcome.
Okay, I'm hooked.
So we've got this team starting to open up, taking baby steps toward trust.
Right.
But that doesn't mean the dysfunctions just poof disappear.
Oh, no.
Think of trust as the foundation.
Okay.
You still got to build the rest of the house.
I like that analogy.
And that's where the next level comes in.
Which is?
Fear of conflict.
Oh,
And
interesting.
this isn't about like personal attacks or yelling.
No.
It's healthy debate.
Okay.
Challenging ideas without fear of, getting in trouble.
Right.
Lencioni says teams that avoid conflict
Yeah.
end up making worse decisions.
Oh, how come?
They're not really looking at all the options.
So just going with the flow.
Or deferring to the loudest voice.
Yeah.
And we see this at Decision Tech.
Oh, yeah.
There's this scene where Catherine overhears
Uh-huh.
Brendan from IT casually mentioning the next offsite.
Oh, interesting.
Turns out Jan had told her team all about it.
Build the beans.
So Catherine realizes she needs to address this at the second offsite.
Head on.
She asks each executive what they told their teams about the first one.
Okay.
Jeff jokes that nobody wants to hear his war stories.
He doesn't have a team anymore.
Mikey tries to downplay it,
What does she say?
saying she just mentioned some touchy-feely stuff.
Avoiding the question.
But Martin gets super defensive,
Really?
saying his engineers deserve to know what's going on.
Even if it's confidential.
He's really protective of his team.
Interesting.
And Jan admits she shared a bit too much,
Oh.
saying she's like a den mother.
She cares about them.
And this is where Catherine makes a really good point.
What's that?
Loyalty is important,
Yeah, of course.
but it can be a problem
How so?
when it leads to silos
I
and
see.
undermines the team as a whole.
It's about the bigger picture.
Right, and this leads to another key point.
What?
Subjugating individual goals for the good of the whole.
That's tough.
It's essential for a high-performing team.
Yeah.
Putting aside your own agenda for something bigger.
Tough but necessary.
And during a discussion about priorities,
Oh, this is where it gets good.
the team has a breakthrough.
Tell me.
Carlos, the quiet one from customer support,
Oh, yeah, Carlos.
he suggests maybe they have too many resources in engineering,
Uh-oh.
which sets Martin off.
You think?
He goes on this rant about how he's not wasting money.
Oh, no.
And they're a product company, so engineering is obviously the most important.
It's all about perspective, I guess.
But then Jan steps in,
Jan to the rescue.
and she tells Martin
What did she say?
that they're not questioning his intelligence,
Okay.
but they are questioning the strategy.
That's a good distinction.
And it works. Martin calms
He
down
goes to the whiteboard. What does he do?
and maps out his whole engineering roadmap,
Oh, wow.
explaining his team's priorities and challenges.
That's progress.
It's like perfect, healthy conflict.
leading to better understanding.
They even come up with a plan to have engineers help with sales demos.
Oh, wow.
A win-win.
I love it.
But the journey's not over.
Oh, no.
The third dysfunction is lurking
Which is?
lack of commitment.
Oh, okay.
And it comes up with Nick and Mikey.
Remember Nick volunteered to take over sales?
Yeah, and he's trying to get a handle on
It's
things.
a lot to take on.
But Mikey's been operating in a silo, not communicating with Nick,
Not keeping him in the loop.
and this leads to a clash.
During a meeting?
Yeah, Mikey presents this beautiful product brochure,
Oh.
but Nick's totally blindsided.
I bet.
His sales team is out there doing research.
And now they don't know what to say.
It's classic lack of commitment.
Mikey only focused on her own department.
And Catherine has to make a tough call.
What does she do?
She fires Mikey.
Wow.
So Catherine fired Mikey. A bold move.
Oh, yeah.
It really shakes things up.
How does the team react?
Well, there's a lot of fear,
Yeah.
uncertainty. They're worried about morale,
Of course.
how to explain this to everyone.
And what it means for the company, right?
Exactly. And Catherine could easily just step in.
Take control.
Yeah, reassure everybody.
She doesn't.
She does something much more powerful.
Oh, what's that?
She gathers the team
Okay.
and shares a story
Oh.
about a time when she made a similar mistake.
As a manager.
Yeah, early in her career.
Interesting.
She talks about this guy, Fred.
Fred.
He was brilliant.
Toxic.
And she admits she prioritized Fred's performance
Over the team.
over the well-being of the whole team.
Oh, wow.
And it backfired.
What happened?
Morale plummeted. People quit.
Oh, no.
She got fired.
So she's really putting herself out there.
It's a humbling story.
And it shows vulnerability.
But she's not just lecturing them.
No.
She's sharing her own struggles.
Letting them know she's been there.
And it creates this space
But what?
for the team to be honest with themselves
To look in the mirror.
and confront their own part in these dysfunctions.
That's powerful.
And as they process Mikey's firing and Catherine's story,
Yeah.
they start making progress.
Oh, good.
They hold each other accountable.
Okay.
They challenge each other's ideas. but in a constructive way.
Healthy conflict.
And they focus on collective goals.
instead of individual agendas.
And one of the best signs of this progress
Tell me.
is how they hire a new VP of marketing.
Oh, okay.
They don't just look at resumes and skills.
No.
They use the 5 dysfunctions model to evaluate candidates.
Oh, wow.
They ask about how they handle conflict,
Okay.
how they build trust,
Mm-hmm.
how they prioritize team goals.
They've really internalized it.
And they find this perfect fit.
Joseph,
Okay. And they onboard
making sure he understands.
the 5 dysfunctions.
And how they work as a team.
They're not just talking to talk.
They're walking the walk.
And Decision Tech's performance explodes.
They're meeting their goals.
They're almost at the top of their industry.
Wow, what a turnaround.
But then they face one final test.
What now?
A competitor makes an acquisition offer,
Okay.
and the board lets the team decide.
Wow, that's a big decision.
It's the ultimate test of their commitment
To the team.
to results, to each other,
Will they take the money and run?
and it's tense.
I bet.
But Martin Barton, the quiet engineer,
He becomes the most vocal opponent.
really,
He gives this passionate speech
About
how they've built something special.
at Decision Tech,
And selling out would betray everything they've worked for.
that's amazing.
He's come so far.
From that guy hiding behind his laptop,
And the team votes.
and the team, they reject the offer.
Wow.
They choose to stay independent.
To keep building their own future.
It's a testament to how far they've
And
come.
overcoming the dysfunction.
They trust each other.
Yeah.
They embrace healthy conflict.
Mm-hmm.
They commit to shared goals.
They hold each other accountable.
And they put collective results first.
That's what it's all about.
And Lencioni ends the book with Catherine making some changes
To the team structure.
to make sure everyone can contribute their best.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Even Jeff steps down from the executive team.
He realizes his strengths are elsewhere.
It's inspiring.
It is.
So as you think about this deep dive,
Yeah.
think about the teams you're on.
Okay.
What's one dysfunction holding you back?
That's a good question.
And what's one step you can take today to address it?
Start small.
It's not about being perfect.
That's about progress.
And Lencioni gives us the tools,
to build those exceptional teams.
the teams that can achieve amazing things.
I love it.
11 Talkations, Common 27, 9010.